Okay, so I thought I'd make a short video on some of the tips to saving energy since energy prices are going up and everybody wants to save some money. What are some of the things that you can do to your home to save a little bit of money on energy? So I have a few items here that I'm going to talk about. The first one is foam pads. If you go into your electrical section in your big box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, they come in packs. They're just a thin foam pad. They're shaped just like the covers. All you have to do is take the cover off the outlet, remove the one screw for this outlet and the two screws for this outlet, slide the foam pad over the face of the outlet and put the cover back on. And what these do is they stop cold air coming or warm air coming from inside your wall into your living space. So it's kind of a block. Okay, they're relatively cheap, easy to install. They'll save you a little bit of money there because it'll stop the airflow from coming in and out of your walls. Okay. The second one is weather stripping. You should be checking all the weather stripping on your windows and doors. If the windows are old, check the weather stripping, because if it's cracked or ripped or you paint it over and it's all stiff and it's not working right, it should be replaced. Okay, so check all your windows, all your doors, make sure that your weather stripping is good, make sure it's touching the back of the door when you close it or touching the back of the windows when you close them, to make sure you're cutting off any airflow past your doors and your windows. Okay. The third thing on the list is the threshold. A lot of times there'll either be a round, it'll have a threshold at the bottom with a little round bulb on it that rubs against your door when it closes. If that is torn or hard or whatever, because it's been there for a long time, ripped, then it's going to allow air coming through. So all you have to do is replace that. You can buy, again, at the box stores, you can go there and you can get a replacement threshold and you can replace the threshold. Okay, some of them, the doors will just have a little plastic thing with that looks like this, where these things then drag against the threshold to keep the bottom of the door sealed. And a lot of times those will get broken off and they'll allow the wind to come into underneath your door. All you have to do again is go to the box store. You can buy a replacement for those, cut it to whatever length you need, slide it back on. That cut off the air from coming in underneath your door. Okay, blinds, shades, and curtains. Whenever the sun is shining through your window, you should close the blinds, the shades, or curtains if you have them on there. That way the sun does not come into your room and heat up that room. It'll curtail a lot of the heat in the room if you close your blinds, shades, and curtains when the sun's coming through them. If the sun's not coming through them, then you can have them open. But as soon as the sun starts shining through, go ahead and close them. Okay? Next thing is vampire appliances. A lot of your appliances have some form of electronics on them. They may have a clock, they may have little lights. If there is a light on the appliance, then it's drawing electricity. So take a look at all of your appliances. Are they drawing electricity? Does it have a little clock on it? Well, how many clocks do you need? Do you need a clock on every one of your appliances, or can you just maybe unplug your coffee maker, because you don't need that clock on your coffee maker because you got one on the stove or the microwave right next to it. Okay, unplug those things so that they don't draw power. Anything that has a light on it is going to draw power. And if you add them up throughout your whole house, you may have 15, 20, 30 items in your house that are all drawing a little bit of power, but a little bit adds up to a lot. Okay, so always check your vampire appliances and unplug them whenever you can. All right, if you're on that issue, when you leave the room, turn your lights off. All right, use your ceiling fans, and maybe it circulate air so you can notch your air conditioner up a degree or two, or vice versa in the winter. Blow that hot air down in the wintertime, you can adjust your thermostat by a couple degrees if you use your fans. They don't draw near as much power as the air conditioners or the heaters in the wintertime if you're electric, okay? A big one is attic ventilation. If you look at your house, on the outside of your house and your soffits, you should have vents. Those vents allow air to come in the bottom of your attic and then escape out through the top of the attic someplace. They'll either have a ridge vent on there, they'll have what I call turtles. They'll have these things on the side, on the edge of your roof. All they are is vents, or maybe you've got the whirly ones. What happens is the air's coming through this vent, and then it goes out through these vents. So it comes in this vent, it goes out that. What that does is keeps your temperature in your attic down. In the summertime, with your asphalt shingles on your roof, your attic can get up to 150, 160 degrees up there. And where's that heat going to go? It's going to go down through your insulation into your house. So your air conditioner is going to have to run more. So if you keep your attic well ventilated, then the air will be cooler. It won't heat up your house so much. Okay, what happens a lot of times is when they blow in insulation, insulation covers those vents up. Now you don't have airflow. You've got to have airflow through your attic. That keeps the water from condensing up there when it's humid, and it gets the cold, the warm air out in the summertime when you don't want it up there. Okay, so attic ventilation. That one's a real simple one. You just have to have somebody check all your vents to make sure that they're open. Well, this one will cost you a little money, but insulation. Now, when they build most houses, they usually put in an R35 and R40. That's what they consider code. Code is just a minimum. Personally, when I built my house, I put an R50 in the attic. Okay, so my electric bills have been really low for the size of my house. Okay, so the more the more insulation you have in your attic, that's that buffer between that hot area in the attic and your space below that you either have to heat or cool. The insulation will keep that space at a more even temperature. It won't come down through there. So go up in your attic. If you can see your rafter or your ceiling joists up there, you don't have enough insulation in there. You're going to have to add some. Okay? If you're not sure, have somebody come by and look at it. Okay? Now this one you don't have a whole lot of say over, because it's not something that happens overnight. When I built my house 12 years ago, I planted trees in the front yard. So they were 15 feet tall when I got them. But now they're twice that tall, and now they're starting to shade my house. In the afternoon when the sun's beating down in it in the summertime, the trees are starting to shade my house. So now the tree is shading my house, so again, my attic doesn't get as hot, and my electric bill isn't quite so high. So plant some good shade trees by your house. The thing to remember with shade trees is don't get them too close to your house. You don't want them overhanging your house. So do your homework and find out what the diameter of the tree is and plant it that far away, the radius of the tree, so you can plant it far enough away accordingly. All right, so like a pin oak, it's got 45 foot diameter, which is a 22 and a half, 23 foot radius. So you want to put it about 26, 27 feet away from your house, so that the branches don't overhang your house. You don't have to worry about them falling on your house. Okay, so this is one that's going to take a little bit of time, but in the long run, if you plan to stay in your house for a while, plant some shade trees. Okay, windows. If you got an old house with old windows, you might think about replacing them. Again, this one's going to cost you a little bit of money. If you buy windows, you want to get the low E. The low E is the tinting that they put on them to reflect those rays that come in that you don't want in your house to heat up your house. And then the argon gas. The argon gas goes between the two panes of glass. It's a better insulator than air. So these low E argon gas filled windows are really energy efficient. Okay, make sure again when you seal all the way around them Check to make sure that no air is getting in around them, okay? And again, next thing is, the last one on my list for now, is if you're going to build a house, I would recommend that you build with a 2x6 walls instead of the 2x4 walls. Again, it's going to cost you a little bit more up front, but in the long run, you're going to save in your energy bills, okay? Like this R 2x6, you're going to have at least an R19, and this is going to be at least an around an R13. So right there, you got 6 points difference in your R value. This is going to make a big difference in the long run, okay? When I built my house, I built it with 2x6 walls. R50 in the attic, I got at least an R20 in the walls. So my house, 2-story house, about 4,000 square feet, my electric bills, until they started going up in the recent years, I averaged about $110 a month because my house is well insulated, okay? So that extra 2x6s and extra installation that you paid in the beginning when you built your house is going to pay for it as long as you stay there, okay? It's going to save you money every month that you're there. That's money that's not going to the power companies. It's staying in your pocket for something else, okay? So, just a quick video. If you can do any of these things to your house, it will help with your utility bills. It'll bring them down. Some of them will bring them down a little bit. Some of them will bring them down quite a bit, okay? So, just look at your own circumstances, figure out which ones you can do feasibly, and it should help with your electric bills.